Let me tell you the story of Priscilla, a woman whose life took a tragic turn. She had 2 children, a daughter smart and beautiful, always top of her class, and a son frail and sickly. Last month, her husband passed away, leaving her with absolutely nothing. Suddenly, she couldn't afford school fees or take her son to the doctor. To make matters worse, the landlord was kicking them out. She sold everything she owned just to put food on the table, but soon there was nothing left to sell. Desperate, she turned to her neighbors for help. They just laughed at her, cruelly asking if they were her husband. She tried her husband's old friends, but they had a disgusting price for their help. Some even tried to force themselves on her. When their wives found out, they ganged up on Priscilla at the market and beat her. Hopeless, she blamed her husband for dying, for leaving her in this mess. She was about to be homeless, about to watch her children starve. Then one day at the market, she overheard a woman bragging. For 12 years, this woman had tried to have a child with no luck. Then, she went to a specific river, and her wish came true. This gave Priscilla an idea. For the next 7 days, she fasted, taking only sips of water. On the 7th morning, she began the long walk to the river. When she arrived, she saw a small boy sitting on a rock. She remembered the instructions. Leave something precious behind to show your sincerity. Drink a sip of the river water and say not a single word. She did just that, leaving behind a photo of her family, her most precious possession. On the way home, she passed out from exhaustion. She woke up to her daughter shaking her, saying there was no food. Confused, Priscilla asked how she got home. Her daughter told her she'd been sleeping all morning and had never left the house. It was like the journey to the river was just a dream. As they were talking, there was a knock. An old man stood at the door. He said her husband had once saved his life, and he was there to repay the debt. He handed her a huge sum of money and left. Priscilla was overjoyed. She paid off her debts, got the kids back in school, and even bought their house from the landlord. She opened a big stall at the market, and soon, the very neighbors who scorned her were asking to borrow money. Life was finally good. But one day, a neighbor came running, screaming that her daughter had fallen into a well. Priscilla dropped everything and ran. The whole neighborhood watched as men tried to pull her daughter out. When they finally did, it was too late. Life had left her body. Priscilla held her daughter and screamed, her cries echoing through the town as everyone wept for the bright girl they all knew. After burying her daughter, Priscilla was never the same. Business was booming, but she couldn't understand why this had happened. Then, at the market, she saw the woman who had bragged about the river. The woman looked at her, spat on the ground, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "How can a mother trade her daughter for material things?" In that instant, Priscilla understood. At the river, she had left the family picture, showing the river what was most precious to her. She had unknowingly offered her child. The community turned on her. They stopped buying from her and whispered as she walked by. To make things worse, her son's condition deteriorated. The doctor said whatever she did the first time to help him, she had to do it again, or she would lose him too. So in the only way she knew how, she turned to the river once again. Priscilla recovered her wealth tenfold. She became known as the Madame of the neighborhood, living in a 7-story house and sending her healthy son to the most expensive school. For years, she'd watch from her window, sipping tea as the well claimed another child's life. It never fazed her. Every season, a new mother's cry would echo through the town. One day, she recognized the distraught mother. It was the woman who had waited 12 years for her son. Soon after, a new death shocked the neighborhood. Priscilla herself. Her car plunged into the very river that gave her everything. Her driver survived, but she did not. Years passed. A new family bought her grand house. While planting a tree, they found a coffin buried in the yard. Inside, there was no body, just children's belongings, shoes, clothes, and pictures. The crowd gathered. and people started recognizing items that belonged to their own lost children. For those who had been to the river, the message was clear as day. Priscilla was behind it all. The name Priscilla is used to scorned woman ever since.